Hello everyone, and welcome to Mortgage Ins and Outs, the video series produced by Realtor.com to help you through the mortgage process. And today joining us, we have Max Koziol. Max is Executive Director at Chase Home Lending. Thanks for coming, Max.
Thanks for having me.
So Max, I think today's goal is to try to demystify the mortgage process.
I'm happy to help.
Okay, good. So let's talk about the first steps with a mortgage.
Yeah, so the first step is that you want to sit down with a home lending advisor. You want to find the person that fits your profile.
Yeah.
So the home lending advisor that you're looking for, you want to make sure that you are able to organize yourself. They can set a goal with you together. They can educate you. You want to start building that relationship where you can actually trust them.
So it's important that you're with somebody that you're comfortable with.
Fully agreed, yes.
And understand sort of what you're looking for and your needs.
Correct. And shop around. It's never too early to do it, so make sure you take your time.
Okay, good. That's really helpful. So let's talk about, I did find somebody I like, and how do I determine eligibility? Or how do you determine eligibility?
Sure, yes, exactly, yes.
How do we work on that together?
For sure. So the eligibility is determined by a few different things. We start by reviewing your credit profile, making sure that you are making enough money to repay the payments, and also that you have enough assets for reserves as well as down payment.
Okay, that's very helpful. So let's talk about kind of the elephant in the room, which is credit, and about credit eligibility. I think often sort of people who are just starting their credit don't really understand what it takes to buy a home. So let's talk about that for a minute.
For sure. So when you sit down with a home lending advisor, they will pull your credit profile and then review it for you. This way they can see if there's any errors on it that we potentially have to fix. Also, if it's early in the process and if it's necessary, we might actually help you get your credit score a little bit higher.
So I think let's focus on that just for a second. So people can actually improve their credit, and especially if they kind of do it well before.
Correct. So this way, like if you sit down with a home lending advisor early enough, you can look at different steps, making sure that you're making your payments on time, making sure that you are not taking too much credit at once. So these are a few different tips to move forward with.
Okay, now we've talked about credit, and credit of course plays into what type of mortgage product I choose.
Correct.
So let's talk about what kind of options I have as far as mortgage products.
For sure. So that's why the relationship is so important that you have with your lender, making sure that you trust the person that you're meeting up with, and also that you are on the same goal path, making sure that you are understanding what is the big objective here. So every single person is going to be different, what kind of product you will go with. You usually want to make sure that you are working with a trusted advisor, so this way you can pick the right product.
Okay, good. So we know that credit's a big deal in terms of picking different mortgage products. What about savings? I think, again, this is something I think people don't really factor in, is that they need to have a little bit of money in the bank.
For sure, and there's a few different reasons why you want to have extra funds in a bank. First of all, just in case you would lose your job, you want to have few months saved, so this way you're not panicking. You have to be able to make your payments even though you're not getting any new income. And it's not only your mortgage payments, but also all the other payments. Also, as a homeowner, you want to remember that you are fully responsible for any fixes. So if there's an emergency breakdown of any equipment in your house, you want to have enough savings to fix that up without stressing yourself out that you won't be able to make your regular payments.
Right, and typically I think what is standard is about 3 to 6 months. Definitely at least 3, right?
Yes, correct. That's a great advice.
Okay, super. So we've kind of put together some of the pieces, and we might want to get pre-qualified. So let's talk about sort of why you get pre-qualified or when, and that versus the difference between being pre-approved. So I'm kind of leading you into the second question.
I love that. Yes, thank you, thank you.
My pleasure.
So pre-qualification is a process where we pull your credit profile and review what's going on with your credit. And then we'll just ask you questions about your income, about your assets, how long you plan to stay in a property, and so on when we build that relationship. It's never too early to get pre-qualified. So it doesn't matter if you're buying in a year, in 2 years, start the process right now, so this way you know where you're at. And you actually might surprise yourself. You thought that your timeline is so many months out there, so many years out there, you might be more ready than you actually thought.
So really, you can get pre-qualified at any time.
Yes.
So if you're like thinking to yourself, I'm gonna buy next year, why not get pre-qualified now?
Correct. You're just setting yourself up for success by getting it early.
Great. I think that's really important, and I think it helps to know what your credit score is, et cetera, because it affects the mortgage product, the whole thing.
Correct.
So now we're going to get pre-approved, though, and I think pre-approval we're not doing until we're a little closer in, right? So we're going to buy in May or June. We might get pre-approved like in April.
Perfect. Yes. So you want to get pre-approved a few months before you're buying a home. During the pre-approval process, you will actually provide all of your assets, all of your income statements, either pay stubs or, in some situations, tax returns. So this way, your home lending advisor can review all the documentation and get you pre-approved.
Okay, so that was really helpful about pre-qualification versus pre-approval. I think perhaps the last question is, how long does it take to get a mortgage? I think people don't realize how long the process might take.
For sure. So the fun thing is that the timeline has been getting shorter and shorter. With all the technology advances, it's a way quicker process. We actually have a 3-week closing guarantee.
Wow.
Where it only takes 21 days from a time when you provide all the documentation. So
that was fast.
Those days when you thought it's going to take a month or two have disappeared, and now we can do it much quicker.
So if you're pre-qualified, then you're pre-approved, 3 weeks. Snap,
just like that, you were loving your new home.
Yeah, oh, awesome. Thank you for joining us. This is the video series on mortgage ins and outs, and if you enjoyed it, we hope you'll check out some of our other videos on the home buying process. If you enjoyed this video, please hit like or subscribe to our channel for more real estate content.